The horror genre has seen a lot of entries within the gaming world. Some have left us absolutely trembling, while others have left us, well, let's just say wanting a lot more. Let's focus on the former here. This list goes through 5 terrifying horror games that will keep you up at night. This list is by no means exhaustive, but I can tell you that number 1 is a game so terrifying I was never able to actually complete it. One day I will try and go back to it, but let's get on with the list. Kicking this list off, but by no means less terrifying than any others on this list, is the mortuary system. You will play in a morgue as a, guess what, a mortuary assistant, and you will have to embalm 3 bodies per playthrough. You will have to go through all the gruesome and sometimes unsettling techniques that are used to embalm a body, but what's worse is one of them also harbours a demon. This demon will be attempting to possess you throughout your playthrough. Take too long and you are theirs. You will have to face untold horrors. You will find jump scares that are performed in a completely random mechanic way. This means that every playthrough you play of the mortuary assistant, it will be different. The jump scares you get will be different, which means they are not predictable in the slightest. Some of these are some of the best jump scares I've had in a long while for a game that has only recently come out. Oh, and did I mention it's actually developed by a solo developer? Some of the paranormal activity you can expect, but is not limited to, includes things charging out at you, peering around corners, trying to grab you, trying to possess your body, I suppose, is probably the worst one out of those, and there is much more. Mortuary Assistant is absolutely terrifying, and it is a perfect first entry to this list. It's currently available on PC through Steam. We're doing the embalming. Doing the... Oh, you did not just fucking click. Oh, no. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. Number 4 on our spot belongs to Madison. Madison is a more of the story-driven horror game, but you have a trusty camera. It has taken clear inspiration from the Silent Hill teaser game PT by Hideo Kojima. You will play as Luca, who finds themselves in a haunted house with only their trusty camera and trying to escape. To escape, you will have to piece together the steps for a ritual. Using your camera, you can alter the environment around you as an absolutely beautiful haunted house that it takes place in. The horror element of Madison, though, comes from its antagonists that are continuously chasing you down, and they are many. There are different antagonists that will be hounding your footsteps throughout your playthrough. They will jump out at you, and they will surely surprise you when they do. Most notably, I think the one that keeps me up at night, the one that I found absolutely terrifying, is the one they call Blue Knees, with a really absurd and slightly unnerving soundtrack to go alongside. In our number 3 spot is Outlast, and if you prefer your horror more gory, then Paranormal number 3 has you covered. As an investigator equipped with only another camera, you can see a recurring theme here, investigate a remote psychiatric hospital named Mount Massive Asylum. Asylums are already something which we see a lot in the horror genre, even outside of video games, so it was only fitting that at least one makes it in this list. Playing as a character with absolutely zero combat experience means your only option when faced with any form of adversary is run and hide. This only adds to the tension and the horror of the game when you see what some of these antagonists, shall we call them, look like, or what the orchestrator looks like, and how they try and chase you down. It is absolutely gruesome. One highlight about Outlast is its absolute audio masterpiece. You'll hear objects rattling, you'll hear the floorboards going, doors creaking, and other ambient noises that will just try and pull you into the game and the environment. You'll constantly be hiding, thinking someone is coming when they're not. The absolute tension that's built up in this game is insane. It does rely on some jump scares. You'll start to predict some of them, especially when it comes to opening doors. However, for me, as someone who jumps quite a bit, they still got me most of the time. For the horror lover who loves their gore in a game, Outlast has you covered. You can play Outlast on nearly all platforms apart from mobile. I think this game still gives me nightmares. At number 2 is an example of a delivered and successful Kickstarter game. We have Visage. Playing as a character called Dwayne, you will be exploring a haunted house. This house will have you explore several different story arcs of other residents that used to live in the house before you. Visage will carry with it huge vibes of mystery and will reward the curious and inquisitive. I say reward, but I'm not really too sure. While searching the house and exploring the dark, the question will spark, am I even here alone? And honestly, the answer to that question is no, you're not. Figures will appear and they'll look around corners, or things will move, or things will just damn right start chasing you. And I don't just mean like one paranormal ghost, several things will start chasing you. And again, you have no way of defending yourself. The story arcs themselves are very well written. The stories are pretty good in my opinion. Some were definitely better than others. But as with all horror games, the thing that I'm mainly interested in is how much they make me jump, and absolutely terrifying are they. And Visage has you covered. It has got a ton of different jump scare mechanics and horror elements that will definitely be keeping you up at night. You will be taken on several different journeys. You'll open a door and there will suddenly be impossible architecture, rooms within corridors which lead you somehow outside, all to find out what has actually been going on in this house. This is a paranormal horror that will definitely have you thinking of Visage long after you finish playing. Before we get to our number one spot, I want to know from you guys, what is your favorite horror game? What is the horror game that you found absolutely terrifying? Let me know in the comments below. And our first place goes to Amnesia: The Dark Descent. It already has a reputation as it has made some content creators absolute careers, and it was hailed as being one of the best horror games ever created. Amnesia is a game which has very simple controls. It is another walking style simulator where you and your character are defenseless. Are you seeing a trend here about make the character defenseless and suddenly a game becomes a lot more terrifying? But this defenselessness, shall we call it, it all allows the player to focus on the immersive atmosphere, the sound and what you see, and this is how Amnesia will unsettle you. The aim of Amnesia is not to try and speedrun the game. In fact, that's even a message at the beginning of the game. It's to feel the presence as it makes you think about everything you hear, double take everything you see, all whilst you're being hunted by a monster and trying to work out what the hell is even going on. Amnesia is one of few games I've never been able to complete to this day. It scares the living out of me. It really plays on your mental state. It will make you think that there are things around you. It will make you think things are happening, or that if you open a door something will be there, and actually there's nothing. The amount of times I was expecting something to happen and it didn't. The tension could be cut with a knife, and I'm pretty sure if I owned a smartwatch back then, it probably would have thought I was having a heart attack. My inability to go back to Amnesia because of the absolute terrifying experience I had with it is why it is on its number one spot on this list. As I say, let me know in the comments which you found it to be your favourite horror game. There are so many really good horror games in the genre, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. But for now, that's it from me, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.
No.